I thought I was just looking for a charger, but what I found ended my marriage.
I still remember the exact moment my fingers brushed against that small plastic bottle. I was just looking for a phone charger in my wife Alice's oversized designer handbag, a place she rarely let me touch. I expected tangled cords or loose receipts. Instead, I found something that froze every muscle in my body. A half-used bottle of men's lubricant. An expensive brand, not ours, and beside it, a pack of emergency pills. For a few seconds, my brain refused to understand. It felt like standing under icy water, unable to breathe, unable to blink. 5 years of marriage flashed behind my eyes: birthdays, anniversaries, shared plans, inside jokes, and quiet evenings on the couch. Then the truth hit me so hard my knees nearly buckled. This wasn't mine. This wasn't for us. This wasn't innocent. Alice called up from downstairs, her voice sweet and calm as though nothing in her world was out of place. "Everything okay up there?" I zipped her bag closed gently, the kind of gentle you use when putting down something fragile, not out of care, but control. "Yeah," I replied evenly. "Just grabbing my charger." That night, as she slept beside me, I lay awake in complete silence. Her breathing was slow and peaceful. I stared at the ceiling, feeling the shape of the truth settle into my bones. She wasn't working late. She wasn't overwhelmed. She wasn't tired. And she wasn't mine anymore, but I didn't explode. I didn't confront her. Instead, a calm, steady resolve formed within me, the kind that comes from clarity, not anger. If she wanted to hide secrets, then I needed the truth, and I was going to find it the right way. The next morning I went for a run, the first in a long time. Not because I suddenly cared about fitness, but because I needed time to think. By the time I returned, sweaty and breathless, I had a plan. Alice was dressed carefully for a Saturday at the office, hair styled, makeup flawless. She said she'd be gone all day for an urgent insurance case. I nodded and wished her a good day. The moment she left, I began. I bought a small GPS tracker, a few tiny discrete cameras, a monitoring program, and external storage for evidence. The salesman gave me a look like he'd seen this scene 100 times. "Make sure you're ready for whatever you find," he warned. I already was. Soon the truth flooded in. More than I ever wanted to know. Through the tracker, I learned Alice wasn't at the office at all. She parked across the street at a small hotel. Through the software, I saw the messages. Her conversations with a coworker, Harry Wilson. Their relationship wasn't new, not an accident, not a moment of weakness. It had been going on for months. Lunches, long evenings, hotel visits. Messages that grew progressively more personal, romantic, intimate, worst of all. A weekend getaway booked for our anniversary, but not with me. Each message felt like a bruise. Each timestamp like another blow. But I never once confronted her emotionally. I never lost control. Instead, I gathered everything. Screenshots of messages, hotel receipts, emails, location logs, photos, recordings. All neatly organized. I built a case quietly, efficiently, perfectly. I watched Alice lie to me day after day, and every time she smiled at her phone while I spoke, my resolve sharpened further. Then one Thursday night she said she had a late meeting. Her calendar said otherwise. So I followed her car to the hotel. From inside my vehicle, camera ready, I saw them arrive. Harry stepping out of his black Audi, Alice getting out of her car, smiling brightly. His hand guiding her toward the hotel entrance. Her laughter, the kind she hadn't shared with me in months. It didn't shatter me, it clarified me, and I photographed everything. That night, she returned home smelling faintly of unfamiliar cologne. "The meeting was long," she said. I nodded, calm, controlled. The final proof sat in my pocket. I made her breakfast the next morning. A peaceful atmosphere, warm coffee, soft conversation. "How was your meeting last night?" I asked. She froze mid-sip. "Oh, just work issues." "With Harry?" Her cup clattered onto the table. "What?" I pulled out my phone and slid the photos across the counter. Her eyes widened, her hand trembled. Her lips parted, then shut again. Finally, she whispered, "I can explain." But there was nothing left to explain. Calmly, almost gently, I laid out everything I knew. Alice's face shifted from shock to guilt to anger, then finally to resignation. "You spied on me," she whispered. "You lied to me?" I replied simply. I handed her the folder, divorce papers. She begged, she apologized, she cried. But the bond had already broken long before she realized I knew. "I don't hate you," I told her. "I just can't stay with someone who stopped choosing me a long time ago." The divorce finalized cleanly. Months passed, then a year. I focused on rebuilding myself, my hobbies, my purpose. I restored a classic Mustang. I reconnected with friends. I learned to breathe again. Eventually I met someone new, Olivia, kind, honest, strong, someone who saw value in truth. One day at a car show, I ran into Alice again. We exchanged polite words, but the spark of pain was finally gone. Olivia took my hand. Alice smiled sadly and walked away. That night, driving home, Olivia asked, "Did seeing her bother you?" I thought about it. "No," I said. "Not anymore," because I had already healed, already moved on, already found something better than the life I lost. Sometimes betrayal doesn't break you. Sometimes it frees you from a version of your life that was holding you back. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories.